It's February 3rd, 2024. Here's an update to Jeff's layout in the Omaha area. This trip, we spent quite a bit of time working on bench work to begin to create the different levels required to put in industries that would have flat track and so on. This grade comes out of the staging and begins to climb up the hill. So this is flat. And then there's an industry on this side that's also flat, so cars don't roll. But you can see where we've had to do a little cookie cutter and adjustments of all the support risers and things like that. The other thing that was done this particular trip was to fasten down this center section here, which is going to be his John Deere facility. He's beginning to start to think about where he might want some of the buildings, and we'll let him work on that for the next couple of weeks, and then I'll return and we'll sketch in specific track arrangements and maybe tweak the building adjustments for not having too tight of curves and stuff like that. We've got the cork in over here for the grain elevator complex. So the elevator complex will be there. It includes a 3-track storage yard here that'll hold approximately 15 to 16 cars. And then there's a runaround track here so trains can deliver cars to that yard without going through the plant up into the middle of the night or otherwise. There's also a track here that will hold 2 units if the grain train is brought in by a through train or so on. They can park power there. And this is all settled in bench work. Some other industries are installed here. This is going to be a rock and gravel type plant, sand plant, and then a rail to road transfer plant back here. Added a creek bed and eventually a bridge. This grade does climb up here a little bit, so you can see the difference because of, again, leveling and squaring off the bench work. So we got that cork in and ran out of that product, which is fine. There's more cork coming. And then we've also been working on the meat processing plant area. This side will be hogs. They use the older building, and it will also have a place for edible and non-edible tallows and other cars that carry away the byproducts from the meat processing. And on this side will be cattle. They get the newer looking plant, but there'll be lots of tracks in and out of here. Now, even though we're modeling sort of a modern era, he would still like all of his cattle and hogs mostly delivered by rail. We had taken one partial afternoon to do some rail fanning in the region and discovered that a lot of the UP's salad shooter cars in Fremont, Nebraska were hauling out fresh meat products. It could have been boxed and frozen and so on, but so we thought that would be a neat way to use some of his salad shooter type cars. Continued with the bench work on this side. So this is the a transition up to the upper level, which will eventually be a yard and a small kind of a Midwest town on the other side of the backdrop. And if you recall from seeing the other videos, down below here is a staging, 6-loop staging track. So just a quick overview of... Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention is we have put in some tracks for an engine terminal. I should say put in the road bed for those tracks. But there'll be a bit of a engine servicing and repair. And then over on this side, he wanted to use up a space for the what'll be a freight house or maybe some sort of a stores building or something like that. And then nothing new in this area, just to give you an update of what's been happening. This is the east end staging, which is 8 tracks. The cork was laid a couple of visits ago. Didn't do much track work this visit intentionally. We really wanted to get the bench work in place, and so he can begin thinking about where he wants building. So that's the update for now. We'll be back in about a little over 4 to 5 weeks. Alrighty.